Well, in Chile, a conservative billionaire is the front runner as the country there heads to the presidential elections on Sunday. For the details, let's cross over to Anand Naidu in Washington, D.C. Anand.
Thanks, Sammy. Sebastián Piñera has investments in a leading television channel, a popular football team, and Chile's main airline. Opinion polls indicate he will benefit from a split in the ruling centre-left coalition. Lucia Newman reports from Santiago.
Chile's political, social and economic stability is widely regarded as a regional success story. Its socialist leader, Michelle Bachelet, has the highest approval rating, more than 80% of probably any outgoing president in the world. So why then is Chile's ruling center-left coalition candidate, Eduardo Frei, a former president himself, in danger of actually losing Sunday's presidential elections? Part of the answer is that Chile's electorate is fed up with the same old politicians, especially this generation, which on election eve we found mocking rather than applauding its choice of candidates.
The country is going to remain the same, no matter who wins.
Many believe it's time for a shake-up. And so the candidate leading in the polls is conservative Sebastián Piñera, a billionaire who promises to run the country as successfully as his media and airline companies.
The ruling coalition's time is past. It's lost its way. We are the future.
But Piñera, and especially the ultra-right wing that backs him, is also part of Chile's past. This is the same presidential palace that on September 11th, 1973 was bombed during a bloody military coup that overthrew Chile's then president, Salvador Allende. 36 years later, there are many Chileans that are concerned that if Sebastián Piñera, the conservative candidate, is elected, the same people that supported and played an active role in the dictatorship that followed will again be in the driver's seat. Further complicating the picture, a third candidate, Marco Enriquez Ominami, a young charismatic independent who talks about raising taxes for the rich and gay rights. By splitting the left-wing vote, critics say he and his supporters are playing a dangerous game.
True, the coalition has been unable to renew itself, but that doesn't justify throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
The baby, of course, is Chile's 2 decades-old center-left coalition, which has dramatically reduced poverty, but not the huge divide between a small privileged class and the rest. And so, for the first time since its return to democracy, Chile may turn right rather than left to try to bridge the gap.
Well, our Latin America editor, Lucia Newman, joins us now live from the Chilean capital, Santiago. And Lucia, it looks like there's a big paradox in this election. We have Michelle Bachelet and the center-left coalition enjoying approval ratings of over 80%. As you pointed out in your report, they dramatically reduced poverty, yet there's a shift to the right.
It is a paradox, and politics is full of them, but what is obvious then is that, like money, popularity does not necessarily trickle down. And although the official candidate, the coalition candidate, Eduardo Frei, has been trying very hard to tap in to the president's popularity, most Chileans see him as a face of the past. He was once president. He was not a very successful president. He's considered dull, and this is really more of a punishment or a protest vote than a veering of Chile's towards the right wing. People who say that it's time for change, that the coalition needs new faces to tackle corruption, to really give the middle class what it's been waiting for all these years, and if that takes 4 years of a right-wing government to carry out this kind of a shake-up, then so be it. That is what a lot of people here are saying.
So is it a foregone conclusion now that Piñera is going to win this election?
Well, actually, it's not. The only thing that's a foregone conclusion is that he will win the first round, although he's looking very much like he smells the scent of victory. I was speaking just a short while ago to a lot of his supporters who even say that they're not so convinced. It all really depends on that third maverick candidate, Marco Enrique Ominami. If the people who vote for him in the first round, and assuming that he doesn't make it to the second round, are given, basically are told that they can vote for whomever they want to, they will have to decide whether they stick to their guns and decide to live with 4 years of a more conservative government, or whether at the end they'll say, well, you know, we can't stomach this, we're going to vote for Eduardo Frei, even though we don't like him, as the lesser of two evils. It's going to be a very, very close race.
And the candidate, the third maverick candidate that you were talking about, Marco Enrique Ominami, is enjoying some popularity right now. Is it likely that that popularity will outlive this election itself, that he'll still have some influence even in the aftermath of this election?
Actually, yes. He's very young. He's only 36 years old, and most people don't believe that he will actually make it to the presidency. But this is really just a preamble to the election campaign 4 years from now, where by then, hopefully, he'll have enough political experience and he will be a far better known face to actually give him a better shot at the presidency itself.
All right, thanks, Lucia. Lucia Newman there talking to us from Santiago.